Hungry cities make hungry islands. And no island in America hungers louder than Rikers. Every morning, before the skyline blushes over the East River, metal shouts against metal. Gates grind open. Feet shuffle in lines that never rest. The air already tastes like rust and resignation. That's breakfast calling. Imagine this. Steam drifting through fluorescent corners, a sea of trays trembling in 1,000 hands. The noise of hunger, low, impatient, rhythmic, as people wait for food that rarely tastes of anything. Rikers doesn't serve meals. It issues reminders. Reminders that time owns you. That choice is a luxury belonging to someone else. That even your hunger has a schedule. The first spoonful tells you everything you need to know. The eggs are gray, the oatmeal stiff, the bread tired. The smell lives in your clothes long after the flavor leaves your mouth. Some eat for energy. Others eat for memory, hoping a taste, any taste, might pull them briefly back to a kitchen where love once stirred the pot. It doesn't matter who you are out there, chef, student, hustler. In here, you eat standing sometimes, silent often. And silence inside Rikers is not peace, it's strategy. Each tray is a small battlefield. Bread trades for noodles. Coffee for cookies. Candy for cigarettes. Value reshaped by hunger. Economy invented by need. Some refuse entirely. They'd rather fight the emptiness than surrender to it. Others scrape every crumb, because tomorrow's portion might feel thinner somehow. People say, you can get used to anything. But no one gets used to food that reminds you you're invisible. Outside, breakfast means beginning. Inside, breakfast means continuing. Another set of hours you must survive until darkness resets the loop. The cooks behind the walls follow recipes scripted by cost, not compassion. They ladle, they weigh, they stare into vats of anonymous stew. Every day, they feed strangers the way the system feeds sorrow, efficiently, indifferently. When the line ends and the hall empties, the echoes linger longer than the taste. The trays clatter into bins, and for one quiet second, you can almost hear what hunger really sounds like. It's the whisper of people still wishing not for more food, but for a reason to feel full again. Hunger, in a place like Rikers, isn't only in the stomach. It crawls into time itself. You start to feel it between counts, between footsteps, between the echoes of closing doors. It's the kind of hunger no vending machine could fix. It's the craving to feel seen. Because after enough days of faceless meals, you begin to forget what satisfaction feels like. You eat until the motion stops the thought. You chew to silence the questions that keep your heart awake. Hunger becomes a language everyone speaks, but no one names. A man gives half his cornbread to someone who looks weaker than he is. That's a sentence of compassion. Another man hoards his meal, tucking it under his mattress because tomorrow feels uncertain. That's a sentence of fear. And every gesture, sharing, hiding, trading, communicates what words can't survive here. Some nights the cells swell with the scent of improvised cooking. Instant noodles, peanut butter, crushed cookies mixed in plastic bags. They call it spread. It's creativity disguised as rebellion, hope disguised as dessert. You can taste the humanity in it. It's what people do when the system forgets flavor matters. The guards know that smell. They know the hum changing in the air. They don't stop it, not usually. Because even they understand what the institution itself refuses, that a little taste of control can keep a riot from starting. The hunger that gnaws loudest, though, isn't physical. It's the hunger for recognition, for proof that the people eating these trays still count as people. Outside, reformers and politicians recite numbers, budgets, calories, costs. But inside, the only math that matters is the distance between need and neglect, measured in spoons of pale gravy. When night falls, the body quiets, but the memory stays restless. Hunger dreams become the only vivid thing left. Hot wings, honey, barbecue smoke from a summer that's long gone. Then morning comes. Same clang, same light, same steam. And hunger wakes first. It's a one thing that never sleeps here, the one reminder that punishment isn't just about walls. It's about the spaces inside you the system forgets to feed. And day after day, they keep feeding the body while starving everything else. That's the flavor of survival at Rikers Island, a recipe for breathing without ever feeling full. In every cell, there's a scent that doesn't belong to this moment. Peanut butter that came in a packet last week. Ramen noodles broken into tiny squares. A hint of barbecue seasoning smuggled inside a letter. When you close your eyes, you can nearly imagine a kitchen again. A mother's voice, a sizzling pan, laughter stirred between spices. But imagination is the only spice left in here that doesn't run out. That's what people do to survive Rikers. They cook memories when real ingredients vanish. Spread nights become ritual. Men and women crowd near the metal sinks, steam ghosting off bowls they shaped from plastic containers. One pours hot water, another crushes chips, another stirs with a rolled spoon handle. It's teamwork born in confinement, alchemy built from hunger and hope. Someone hums a song. Someone tells a story about the first meal after they got free once before. The air thickens with creativity. And for a few minutes, this room of punishment becomes a room of purpose. They're not chasing flavor. They're chasing control. Because every failed system forgets that control is the first taste anyone ever loses. Back outside, people talk about rehabilitation, about programs and reforms, but taste is its own kind of therapy. A spoonful of something you made, however cheap, however rule-breaking, can remind you that you still can make. Even if it's just crushed cookies turned into fudge, that's proof that your hands still have something kind inside them. But the miracle doesn't last. Once the bowls are scraped clean, the reality returns. Steel doors, stamped numbers, fluorescent daylight that feels like moonlight trying to pretend. Still, every bite carved out of memory fights despair. It whispers, you haven't turned into this place entirely. That's why spread night matters more than recreation. There's no celebration here, no holidays that feed the soul. But when people invent dinner out of fragments, it's a holiday of defiance. From the outside, it might look pathetic. From the inside, it's sacred. Because the act itself says, we still know how to care for one another. In a world where control defines every breath, these makeshift recipes remind them they still own something. The will to flavor existence. Some nights, when silence settles again, someone will smile to themselves and think, it tasted almost real. That almost is everything. Every institution has a budget. Rikers has two, the cost in dollars, and the cost in lives lived halfway hungry. On paper, every meal looks complete. Proteins, grains, vegetables, all accounted for. But paperwork can't taste. It doesn't smell the stale bread or the overcooked vegetables that slide into mush before they reach the tray. A bean is a bean in the system's math, but not in a man's stomach. The cheaper the meal, the higher the profit for whoever wins the contract. That's the invisible feast, the table set somewhere else, where people eat well while selling austerity as efficiency. Inside, the deficit is measured differently. One by one, the signs appear. A man's belt turned tighter, clothes hanging looser, faces losing the fullness that once said, I'm still in my body. You can see the politics of hunger sculpted right into people's skin. Officers notice too. They watch tension rise in line, see tempers spark over half portions. They know one spilled cup of juice can start a fight, because even dignity has been starved so long it bites back. This is what neglect does. It multiplies. It turns every meal into a test of patience, every crumb into property, every rumor about better food into brief revolution. But the most corrosive part isn't the food itself. It's the message it carries. You are worth exactly this amount of care. There's power in that message, and it seeps beyond the prison yard. When a society accepts that someone's hunger is a fair part of punishment, that same logic soon decides how much compassion anyone deserves. The kitchen at Rikers is only the loudest symptom of a national condition. Across America, budgets shrink, trays thin, and stories repeat. The same gray meals, the same silent gratitude that at least is something. Still, despite every cut corner, the resilience refuses to disappear. Someone shares their cornbread. Someone cracks a joke about mystery meat that pulls a laugh from the weary table. The smallest acts keep humanity from starving completely. That's the balance here. Cruelty measured in portions, mercy hidden in crumbs. Because even when the body is running on little more than starch and water, there's still the instinct to comfort another person. And that instinct, quiet, stubborn, human, is how they keep Rikers from swallowing them whole. At night, when Rikers finally exhales, the sound softens to a pulse, ventilation humming, distant voices dissolving into dreams that never quite rest. This is when you understand that hunger here is larger than food. It's an ache that moves through memory, through justice, through what we think we deserve. Somewhere, a man folds a slice of bread carefully in napkin and slides it beneath his pillow, as if safekeeping tomorrow. It's the smallest insurance policy in a world designed to keep you empty. In another cell, someone whispers a recipe to themselves, measurements of imagination, grams of nostalgia, dash of salt, 2 pinches of patience. They speak it like prayer. The walls have heard them all. Because a person can survive on little, but not on nothing. And nothing is what indifference feeds you. Outside these fences, it's easy to call this justice. But justice without nourishment isn't correction, it's erosion. It wears people down until the only thing left of them is discipline. Maybe that's why Rikers haunts the city the way it does. It's a reflection the skyline doesn't like to see. Proof that we keep our hungers out of sight, both theirs and ours. The story of the food here isn't about flavor. It's about what a society decides to taste and what it decides to ignore. You can measure a civilization by how it feeds those it punishes. And if we're honest, ours feeds them with efficiency, not empathy. But listen closely. Beneath the clatter, there's still defiance. It lives in the steam, in the laughter that sneaks out during serving time, in the endless invention of those who keep sharing what little they have. Those moments are proof that cruelty never fully wins. The human heart keeps seasoning despair until it tastes like endurance. If Rikers teaches anything, it's that hunger is contagious, not just theirs, but ours. The hunger for fairness, for connection, for a world where a meal means we see you instead of we control you. So when the door closes and the trays are stacked in silence, ask what kind of nation we become when the forgotten eat last. Because the real story hidden inside Rikers Island isn't mealtime. It's the mirror it holds to the rest of us, reflecting the emptiness we still need to feed. Subscribe for more videos like this.